Is this dude playing fucking Roblox?
Get this shit out of here.
It's time to play a real game like ULTRAKILL. Man, ULTRAKILL is so fucking good. This game put the fear of God in you, boy. This game will slap you silly. It'll make you grow hair on your chest. It'll make you grow hair on your teeth. ULTRAKILL is a fantastic blend of Quake, Doom, and Devil May Cry, and I mean, come on, it's even got the DMC style system. It initially launched in early access in 2020. It's still in early access, but there is a lot of content to go through. It's been on my wishlist for fucking forever now, and I finally got it last month, and it's incredible. The movement is so crispy, the mechanics are so crunchy and multi-layered, the environments, the theme of the game, it's immaculate, and the soundtrack is fucking banging. The game opens up with a pretty simple message. You play as a funny little robot who absolutely massacres the ever-loving shit out of demons, husks, disembodied heads, creepy statue guys, chainsaw motherfuckers, and
Angel fucker.
you know, the pacing is pretty standard. You go room by room, you get checkpoints if you fuck up, but you know, that will lower your score. And if there's one thing that's true about ULTRAKILL is that it's so rewarding in discovering new mechanics and ways to break the game. I mean, the speedruns for this game are fucking crazy. People are just flying through the level like it's nothing, and I can barely do a dash jump without fucking it up and losing my speed. The gameplay is just so intense. Like, there's so many moments where I just feel my brain turning into TV static, and I mean that in the best way possible. There's just so many different things that you have to manage, whether it's certain weapon combos or ways you like to deal with certain enemies. This is the same kind of feeling you get in like maybe Doom Eternal when you're switching through different weapons, but in ULTRAKILL it just feels so much different because of how they designed all the weapons and mechanics. ULTRAKILL gives you a multitude of tools and then lets the player figure out how to destroy the game. It really opens up once you understand the different mechanics and tech. Alright, it's time for a new segment on the MF Mouse broadcast. Welcome to Eldrin's Weapon Corner. Ew! All the weapons in your arsenal work together and rely on each other in order to succeed. It's kind of a design principle you could see in Deep Rock Galactic, I guess. Like, all the different classes rely on each other in order to do their best. But in this game, all the different classes of dwarves are your guns, and you're holding all the guns. You're juggling all the guns like the robo-clown that you are. And this disaster of an analogy. Anyways, your first weapon you get is a revolver. It does single target damage, you have a charge that can pierce, and a variant that lets you throw coins and bounce bullets off of it, because that's fucking cool. The coin variant of the gun quickly becomes your bread and butter, or at least it should be. The almighty coin is so important to a lot of the tech in the game. Throwing a quick coin and bouncing off a single bullet does pretty great single target damage. I use that for like bosses and shit, and it automatically tracks so you don't have to aim. But you can also hit the coin with the railgun, and that does a fuckload of damage. And if you get a boss in between multiple coins, it's like getting extra railgun hits for free, which is insane and looks cool as fuck. The shotgun has a grenade launcher and a charge variant. I would say the shotgun's purpose is AoE, since you can do things like parry your own shotgun shells, which, I mean, come on, that's fucking sick, come on. The core that you eject from the shotgun can be shot with a bullet for an explosion, or you can shoot it with a railgun for an even bigger and more epic explosion. You can also rocket jump with the charge variant, which is pretty dope, but it will take like half of your health. The nailgun slash saw launcher is good at clearing trash mobs, but the magnet variant you can also kinda trap bosses, or it's mostly a good weapon to switch to while you're waiting for the cooldown of other weapons. But I didn't find myself using this one as often, but it was a good weapon to weave in between from. The railgun pretty much does it all, that's why it's on a cooldown. It has 3 different variants for AoE, single target, and I think a drill version for healing, which I didn't end up using that much, but yeah, since it has a cooldown, you should probably get the most use out of it through a coin or a core eject, just for a massive explosion. That was the end of Elgin's Weapon Corner. Now it's time for a segment from Level Larry. Take it away, Larry. I also wanted to talk about the levels in this game because I'm a fan of level design, and ULTRAKILL has its fair share of pretty interesting environments. We got the classic boomer shooter meat level. We got a sandblasted desert with temples that you can explore. There's even a weird fake projection cathedral level, which I really enjoy. I really loved a lot of the levels here, and I can't wait to see what else they add in the future. Now, the start of the game says you're entering hell, but the area looks very mechanical, and it feels like you're in a giant machine. I think this is a really interesting take on what hell would be. The general aesthetic of the prelude is, pretty sick, and it definitely contrasts once you get to Layer 1. These levels begin to have a lot of that religious imagery and structures, but then also, and the interesting thing about this level is that when you walk close to one of these walls, they are actually just like holographic, and you can also see speakers that are just pouring like bird chirps into the arena. I don't know, this was like honestly one of my more favorite levels. I just love the atmosphere, and it makes me a lot more interested in the world this game takes place in. Anyways, the climax of this layer is when you actually meet a recurring antagonist in this game called V2, which literally just looks like you but red. These fights are fucking sick because V2 has like the same weapons as you and uses the same kind of mechanics. Even thematically it's really cool because the naming convention of V1 and V2 kind of places you as the underdog, which, as a player, that kind of gives you some incentive to want to beat the shit out of whatever is in front of you. Of course, after you beat V2, you actually pick up their arm, and that's when you get the cool-ass secondary arm that you can switch to. A note I want to make about, these boss fights and some of the harder levels is that I think it's really fun to go back to some of these levels and try to do as fast as you can, or try to get the P rank, which is important for something later on. Now, I don't want to just describe every single level to you and go over it, because honestly, you should play the game and experience it for yourself, because some of these moments are simply epic and make me do the awesome face. But yeah, I have to say, in its state right now, it's still in early access, but you need to do yourself a favor and play this game if you enjoy shooters, if you enjoy stuff like Doom or other kind of boomer shooters like that shit. I know I had mentioned all those mechanics and shit earlier, but even on my first playthrough, I didn't know all that shit, and it was still a blast. No matter how deep you go into this game, I'm sure it's definitely worth it for you to play it. It's so fast-paced, it's so quick, it's so fun, and I think the price is going to go up after this next summer update, so if you're interested in it at all, I would fucking buy it immediately. So yeah, that's my overview of ULTRAKILL as of right now. It's about to get a big update featuring a rocket launcher and probably a new layer or two. I just got into the game, so I don't know how big these updates are. I could see myself doing another video on this game again, maybe after free updates, or maybe even 1.0 launch, I don't know. And yeah. Thanks for watching my video, I guess. Bye. Goodbye.